back with another segment of Prison Chronicles where every day we come together and we speak about prison, from our vantage point. Today we have a wonderful segment where mothers speak about their sons or their daughter that have gone to prison. We're going to let them speak about it from their vantage point. So remember, you have a child that you lost to prison, you got a spouse that lost their mate to prison, you got a friend that you lost to prison, a child that lost their parents to prison, and even ex-officers. You want to be on the show, remember to hit us up at 501-551-8489. And remember to press that like and subscribe, that like and share button and the subscribe button. Go find us on YouTube under the Narrow Cook or even Prison Chronicles TV. And make sure you press that like and subscribe button because there's no us without you. And don't forget to share. But we're going to kick this thing off just like this by letting these ladies introduce themselves and speak about, we're just going online and just speak about who you are and just introduce yourselves.
My name is Cherry Howerston, and I had a loved one to be incarcerated for 10 years. I walked that journey down with him for 10 years, and it was truly a journey, I must say. It was something I had to adapt to. I had to let it become a part of my life. I had to fit it into my lifestyle. And it was great. Great experiences. I learned a lot going to the prisons. Some things I experienced I didn't like, but others I loved. And I can tell you some pointers on when you go to the prison. I can tell you some things that is very, very important. And I guess we'll get to that when you get to questioning
We're going to make sure
about that.
Let y'all know about the important things.
We'll get to that when he get to ask the questions.
Okay, we're going to finish the introduction.
My name is Lorraine Kelly, and I had a daughter that was incarcerated. And it was not a good journey for me at all, or her daughter or her son that was left here. And I tell you, I'm about ready to start crying now because it was so bad. Nothing that I had ever experienced and don't want to experience again.
Nothing you can prepare for.
Nothing at all. My daughter was sick when she went in. She has sarcoidosis in the lungs. And that was number one worry for me. Was she gonna get the right medical attention? Or were they just, and they were so abusive, y'all. I tell you, it was horrible. And her daughter, bless her heart, she took me down through there because I'm pretty sure she missed her mother wholeheartedly because her mother wore the pants and the skirts or whatever you want to say. So it was very difficult on her. Her oldest son, he's just got that cruise along attitude, But that daughter of hers, Lord have mercy. That's all I can say.
My name is Kendra Van Buren. Everybody know me as Candy. My son has been probably getting in trouble since the womb because he gave me hell when I was pregnant with him. So I think God was kind of preparing me then and just kind of getting in trouble throughout school. But as far as being detained for the first time in juvenile, it started at 13. And he was 18 when he went to Tucker. And he served 2 years. And it's just been, the 2 years at Tucker were the only consecutive years. But it's just been in and out. And he's currently in the county jail. So I don't know. I try not to be so hard on him because I just don't know what journey God is. Maybe he's going through this for a reason or whatever the case is, but I know my expectations that I have on him, but it's not for me to place my expectations on him because God is taking him there for a reason. But it is very heartbreaking and it's disappointing, and not only it's traumatic because I'm locked up with him. So
yeah. So we're going to kick this thing out like this. Remember, you don't have to go down the line and answer them. Just answer it as feel. If something come to your head, just speak about it. But, okay, could you recollect the exact moment, the exact moment in time, what you was doing the time you found out your child, your son, your daughter was incarcerated, when you got that call?
Well, for me, we knew what, it was an ongoing process. Yeah. So we knew the time was coming. And I tell you, it was just every day.
So every day, even, you already knew appointed time to turn yourself in. So you try your best to prepare But was you couldn't quite prepare for that
You
moment?
can never prepare
Never.
for that.
Never, ever.
A mother would never prepare themselves for
Right,
that.
right.
And it's like you go into mourning once they start go to jail, because it's like you don't picture them deceased, but it's like I have to detach myself from this so I can function and go to work or whatever the case is, because other than that I'm gonna be like an ostrich. I'm gonna just put my head in the sand until the storm is over with. So it's just, you kind of start mourning your child just so you can process what you're dealing with, mentally process, so you can't lose your mind. So
Do you remember what you were doing at that moment?
At that moment, when my child was getting ready to go down, he was 17. He was on the run, hiding out from house to house. And I just decided one day I was going to get my son. And I took my son down to the county in Conway, and I turned him in because I got tired of him running. And I turned him in. Me and his grandmother, we prayed in the car before I went in the building. And I could just remember going inside and turning him in to the jail people. And they told me I just couldn't drop my son off.
You couldn't do that?
Yeah.
So you was able to leave with him?
They told me, no, I wasn't able to leave with him, but this is what they said to me. Ma'am, you just can't come in here and drop your son off. I said, well, if you look up his name, you will see that he is wanted. And I'm here to turn him in to who he is wanted by. So I did that. And at that moment, my heart sunk.
yeah.
I cried. But I had to release him because running wasn't doing us any good.
Though it was your choice to turn him in, did a part of you ever feel guilty to the point like, dang, did you ever feel like you sold your son out?
No, because it was all over the news. I wasn't selling him out. It was either they were going to kill him
Yeah.
or I take him in and turn him in to them, to the authorities. And that's what I done. So I don't feel like I sold him out. No.
Yeah. I thought I was
don't.
rescuing mine. Cause
You turned yours in?
he was 13, and I was just like begging for some kind of help, because I felt like if
He was 13?
he was
The juvenile part?
yeah, he was 13, and I was just begging because he was doing reckless grown men stuff.
Was the dad in his life at that time? What about his uncles?
Well, they were young at the time, you know, and it's like they don't know. They were like stand-up people. They didn't know how to handle somebody that combative. And my son would make you like want to strangle him, and because some of the stuff that he was doing, he would put you at risk. And when when you're trying to get yourself together, whatever, you don't want to go that way because you're trying to help your nephew. But I had uncles and cousins that were trying to help. And I remember one particular day, my cousin, he's prominent in Little Rock or whatever. So he tried to help or whatever, but he doesn't have a combative son. So we go to the juvenile place, and I was really cool with the probation officer. And I told my cousin, I don't want him out. He's not ready. Because I can tell from his conversation, he has some crap on his mind. Yeah. So I was like, it's not time for him to go out. So he went and talked to everybody and made it to where my son can get out that day. Mother's intuition is something terrible. So I told him, I don't want him out. So we go home. And I'm in the kitchen because I'm pretty much watching both my doors because I know my son. So had to use the restroom. My son lied to my cousin and said that he was going to get something out the car. My son gone. I'm like, I told this nigga not to let him out. So I'm like, one day y'all gonna listen. For some reason y'all think women are crazy or mothers are crazy, but we got something strong inside us that'll tell you something is off. And so I just wanted him to trust me. So I'm firm about, when he gets detained, because I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about him harming somebody or somebody harming him. Because the last thing you want to do is bury your child. So right now he's in the county and I'm at peace. And I used to be ashamed to even say that out loud. But I sleep well at night, because if I hear a siren or a gunshot, it's not my child. Because I know where he is.
You know where he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know where he is.
Well, I don't know, from the both point of view, but even you speaking about your son was combative, so he was openly aggressive. You know what I'm saying, showcasing how he really is. And whereas most kids, you a different child in front of your parents. So even with your son, even with your daughter, you know, we present this certain type of person to our mothers, and you know, in the streets we're a different person. But when it comes to that, how did you feel like knowing that your son was out here doing things like that? And you know,
Scared.
I was worried a lot. I preached, I cussed, I fussed, you know, about him being out in the streets, about him running the streets, about him just being out here running with the wrong people. I mean, I did this over and over and over. And when I found out that he was out here doing those things, he was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And he went to jail at 17. So he was still a minor. But when I found out he was doing these things, I was heartbroken. Of course I was. Because the incident happened the day before my birthday. So yes, I was heartbroken. But I had to get past that. I had to ask God to give me strength to pull through what I was going through. And I had to walk that walk with him. So I don't feel guilty for turning him in. Like I told him, the quicker we get in, the quicker you'll get out. Because they can't hold you forever. Trust and believe.
Yeah, they can.
I was just thinking.
They can
Yeah, they
in certain
can,
situations,
They can pass
but
the
they
charges.
couldn't hold
Oh,
mine
they didn't want to let me go.
forever.
Yeah, they don't
Shit.
want
What
to let
I'm
them
saying
go once
is
they
they
get in
couldn't
there.
hold mine forever. One day he was gonna be released.
Yeah.
So I knew they wasn't gonna hold him forever.
Before we let you speak on that, I'm gonna personally greet Miss Ebony Pinky Brooks. And remember, if this your first time checking in and tuning in and watching Prison Chronicles, make sure you comment first time, and we're gonna personally greet you. So back to her.
Okay, my situation with my daughter, she was grown, okay? Never, ever been in any trouble, never gave me trouble other than trying to sneak and coat boys. That's the only problem that I had with her, and that
Being
wasn't
fast.
nothing serious, you know?
Fast tail.
And she waited till she got grown and sick with sarcoidosis in her lungs. And I tell you, I would call down there, you know, because I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried about her. But thank God, and she was in Texas. She went into remission there. But getting from the day one up until the point that she went into remission, those people, I never ran across people that were so mean, so rude, so I don't care. Your daughter shouldn't have did this. Of course, I know this, you know, but things happen. So my situation was a little bit different. She was grown, and she left kids behind.
Yeah.
So I had to step up to the plate. I'm 62 at that time. I had to step up and do what I had done all my life with them, with her and her siblings.
do it again. Right.
Had to do it again.
Put
And
your life on pause.
major pause. She got like 2 acres of land, and I'm out there. I moved into her house with her kids, and I'm out there. I like to fell out one day trying to keep, because I know how she is. She keeps things,
Everything in order.
everything in order, correct. And I'm out there in her yard, and I get a phone call from the prison. It's Lynn. She crying, and I tell y'all, it's just a bad feeling. And like I said, just sitting here talking about it, it brings back all that negative stuff that I had to go through for 2 years with those people. They don't care. I even had one to tell me that they don't care, you know, about her sickness and her getting the proper help. She was there 2 months before she even saw a doctor. And here, when she was out, she was going on a regular basis. That's a serious illness, sarcoidosis. That's what Bernie Mac died from, sarcoidosis in the lungs. So I keep that in the back of my head, and I'm just worried all the time, just worried. And like I said, I had to deal with Oklahoma, I had to deal with Texas, and I got to the point, I'm skinny anyway. I went from 120 pounds holding down to 91 pounds. And I was just, I tell you, it was just horrible. I can't say anymore.
And of course, y'all children going through what they did, even when you able to see it, could you speak on your behalf, even to other parents that are going through what you already went through similar? Is it type of? Could you, from your point of view, tell what your child needed in their life to deter them from acting the way they were?
Well, I asked my son, because he started running away. And I said, why did you, run away or whatever? And he said, my home was too structured. And because I'm old school, so you gotta, come in at a certain time. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I mean, be a productive citizen. That's what I was trying to raise my children to be. And he wanted to be free. But as he got older, he told me that I wish I can go back to that 12-year-old little boy again. And he wouldn't do those things, but I just don't think I think he's running from himself right now, and I don't even think he knows exactly how to pinpoint what he needs to even try to get on the right path on what to do. Because I think that has kind of became comfortable for him, and sometimes I wish that he did serve the consecutive years, because when I look at the Prison Chronicles, the ones that have served the consecutive years, they get out and flourish. But if you make it a revolving door, it's like you're spinning in circles and you don't know where to stop.
See, when you first go to prison, like I told my mama, I remember the time when I first went down, my mama used to ask me, well, do you know anybody? You worried. Yeah. Do you know anybody down here? And I just like this. I said, Mama, you ever sat down and you be like, and it just hit you out the blue, like, you don't know why you thought about it, but you're like, what? I wonder where this person at, and things like that. Ever had them thoughts? And she was like, yeah. I said, that nigga in the jump.
Yeah.
When you sit and think about like, damn, I wonder what this person is. They in the pen.
I think about
so once you first go through the pen, it's hands up. What's up, boy? So instantly, all free you had, all it's going out the door,
comfort
and you sucked in to, what's already happening there. So everybody schooling on this. This how we're gonna do this, man. We're gonna do this. So you just flowing that way there.
Yeah. He said it was hard out here, and sometimes I hear what my children aren't saying. And so for me, I took it like, because every month rent needs to be paid, utilities, toiletries, and he didn't know how to deal with that kind of stuff. So he's on somebody else's dime.
Yeah.
So he said it's hard out here, but I just, I remember one particular day I visited him, me and my brothers or whatever, and he was like, I said, Krishan, you feel so much better when you do the right thing. You don't have to look over your shoulder. He said, I feel like a whole ass nigga. And I said, do you know how many times I felt like a whole ass nigga as an adult? And I'm okay with that because I'm free.
Why you say you feel like a whole ass nigga?
Because when you try to get peace or be the bigger person, you feel small.
Yeah.
If you allow yourself to stay there. So it's plenty of times as an adult you got to choose stuff. Yeah. If you want to stay on your job, if you want to, continue your livelihood the way that you do, I said your mama is okay being what you call a whole ass nigga because you stay free. I don't have to look. I mean, you feel better when somebody's saying good things about you. Not that you brown nosing or whatever the case is, but what you call I call somebody that's a productive citizen because so many doors are gonna open for you if you're that particular person. But if you're somebody that just, okay, well, I ain't gonna take no crap from you. Have to take crap as an adult. You have to. I do events or whatever. It's stuff I gotta chew when I want to tell them folks, I don't want you as a customer because they give you the blues. But in order to be successful, you gotta chew some stuff. So if I'm labeled as a whole ass nigga, then label me as that.
So could y'all speak about how was it going down to prison, visiting your child and things?
It was heartbreaking.
Hard.
Because you have expectations on what you want, and my daughter here, she has a full scholarship going to college, and we're traveling, taking her to school. I'm okay with that road, but I just didn't want to take that road to Tucker or I don't want to do that. I don't want to see my child behind because he didn't look like himself. He stayed clean just like you. And to see him scraggly, and I didn't know if it was cornbread or cake he was eating. You know what I'm saying? And I love to cook for my children, so I'm like, what is they feeding my child,
I mean, hey, it's something else,
It's like they took some dog food and said, hey, here, it's just horrible. And he was sitting there eating it like it was the first of the month. And I'm like.
After a while, you have to, you're just sitting there, especially when you first get locked up and stuff, looking at these trays. I ain't eat a you know, I remember my first went to county jail. You know, they on Wednesdays they feed us, as they call it, shit on the shank, and that's biscuits and gravy and stuff. And at that time, I ain't never seen a biscuit and gravy in my life. I ain't never ate no biscuit and gravy. That was some country shit to me. So I'm sitting there, you know, I'm eating my cereal, I'm eating my fruit.
Normal
you know what I'm
stuff.
saying? And yeah.
Stuff you
Hey,
can
man,
deal
you want
with.
that, man? Get this shit. You know, people, hey, man, let me buy that from you, man. You can get this.
You gotta
know what I'm
buy
saying?
it.
Hell no. So, you know, after a while, you sitting there and you gonna pick that spoon up.
Sooner
and
or
you gonna
later.
smash it. And you ain't
I
worried about
didn't-
taste. You know?
I didn't have that problem with my child, cause she's an excellent cook, and she wound up getting in the kitchen there. I didn't worry about the food that she ate, cause I knew she was gonna get to that point where she's cooking for the warden and the staff. So she, you know, we would talk about that when she called. She, Mom, I'm eating, I'm okay.
And that probably was a peace of mind for her.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
peace of mind.
yeah. So that made me feel good. But like I said, I was still just worried all the time about her health. And when you try to talk to those people down there, they don't want to hear nothing a mother, father, or anybody got to say.
Yeah. I remember my son told me he didn't believe in God anymore. And I've always told my children that, you know, your attendance in church is not what's important to me. Your relationship with God is what's important to me. So sometimes my daughter would kind of make fun of me because, you know, they'll see oil on the door, oil on their forehead or something like that, because I continue to pray for them. I may not be, you know, a Bible-toting, scripture-quoting type. That's not me, but I know who he is to me. And so when my son stopped believing in him, I didn't, you know, bash his head in, because he has to get to know God for himself. And I remember when my brother passed away, I was mad at God. So when you know, and when you put in certain situations, you feel like God isn't present, and he probably just did not feel like God is present. But I told him, I said, if you learn to be accountable, I don't know what God is trying to teach you in this situation, but if you learn to own up to it and stop blaming everybody else for what you did, because in situations I put myself in, you know, I was a teen mom. I can't blame my mom or trauma that I had, experiences I had as a child. I chose to do those things, you know, and for a minute I did, but, you know, it comes with maturity. I don't know, you know, maybe God is trying to teach him, you know, if you just own up to your actions, then this part of your chapter be done and we'll go on to the next. But until you learn this lesson, you're going to repeat it, and with a different cast member or different cast members.
Do y'all know the impact that y'all had on going to visit y'all loved ones? Do you know the significance of that? I understand you would go see him because then this is my baby. I gotta love. I mean, I gotta take care of my baby. I gotta be there if
I
nobody else.
had no choice but to do that. I was his day one since day one. And I never turned my back on him. And it's very important that family support is number one. If you have family backing you up when you have a loved one incarcerated, it's very important that they go visit, put money on the books, supply them with the secure packages that they get twice a year, which is extra food, something that they don't get there.
Different stuff.
Different stuff for them to have. Visitation. I don't know if I named that or not,
Yeah,
but
you named it, but
visitation
it
is
all-
very important. Letters, phone calls, and making sure they okay. Holidays.
See that stuff like that, everything you naming for a person sitting behind them doors, sitting behind them walls, it gives something to look forward to, and then it keep you out of trouble because you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it
If I'm
does.
in trouble, you can't come visit me. I can't use my phone. I can't get them packages that you talking about. And so you know, if a person got support,
Yeah.
you know, you gonna do.
With that support system, they can pull through with that support system. And I encourage a lot of women and men, if they going to visit their loved ones, support them in every way you can. That's what helps them survive inside those prison walls. That's what helps them survive. Because we don't know what goes behind them walls. We don't know what goes on behind. You
And
know,
they
with
probably
y'all,
won't
we
all
don't
the time
know
tell you. Yeah.
unless y'all tell us. So
Trust
before
me,
we get back to
Lynn
this,
did tell me. Mine did tell
Thank you,
me.
Rochelle. Thank you, Big
Mine
Sean,
will.
for tuning in and Thank you for your compliment. And continue. Make sure you push that share button. And also, check this out. Being parents out here and you not knowing what's going on back there, coming up watching all the movies that we done watched. Somebody said, Ebony say, I really commend you mothers for doing the right thing. It's hard, but you have to do what's best for you and your young kings.
Yeah, thank you, Ebony.
And queens. Thank you, Ebony. But being that y'all done come up watching all these movies and getting your own idea, or even getting your idea of what the movie wants you to see, wants you to depict how prison is. When you laying down in your bed at night, wondering about what your child going through, how was that for you? Being that your child is finally behind those doors.
It was scary. And when I said I was going into mourning, because I saw all those movies to where they were shanking them and raping them and all that kind of stuff, I was like, I just didn't know what to think. And then to hear you guys say that's not what goes on, it's settling. It's really settling my heart. But at first
we'll get right back. Right there.
How you gonna
hold that thought right there. Hold that thought. We'll be right back after a short commercial
that.
break. Hold it right there. Thank you for holding on while we took this short commercial break, and we're going to continue to let this young lady, Kendra, elaborate about what she was speaking about. But also, remember, if this is your first time watching, make sure you comment in the comments below that it's your first time. We'll personally greet you. Remember, if you want to be on the show, and if anybody have told you about the show, somebody that just got out of prison and want to hear prison, how it was told from their vantage point, remember to hit us up at 501-551-8489. Before we took that short commercial break, this young lady here was speaking about how Prison Chronicles helped relieve her from her thoughts.
It absolutely did, because, I was like, why would they have all these movies and it not be true? So,
not saying some of it ain't true, it's just it ain't true now.
Okay.
Prison and changed, but all the people you done saw here, a lot of us have been locked up since the 90s, where it was happening. A white dude couldn't turn the TV, a white dude couldn't work out, a white dude couldn't jack off. So, a light-skinned dude kind of had hell. You know what I'm saying? A light-skinned dude, I'm not saying that you look at the old Prison Chronicles and think like, this dude was light-skinned, I wonder did he, you know what I'm saying? Certain dudes ain't going through that, but certain people had the rough end of the stick.
Yeah, and my son is a fighter. He, I remember when we moved to Lone Oak, and him being a fighter carried him. But I really believe in my heart that he was trying to do the right thing. And this one individual was just really testing him. And he was like, Mama, I just got tired. I just two-timed him, whatever he said, whatever it meant. And I'm like, what does that even mean? He was like, I hit him one time, he hit the floor. I got sick of him running behind me. And I was just like, Krishan, you have to just do the right thing. And he was like, Mama, you a square, you don't get it. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with being a square? But, I was raised on 33rd and Ringo, and I was in the hood, but I went to school and came and went in the house. And it was just one of them things where my brothers would make fun of me and say I was a square. So I just did, maybe that's why I didn't know how to handle my son, because I'm like, even my brothers weren't like that. They would listen to me or whatever the case is, and he was combative. He was, he just wouldn't listen most times. And most times I just didn't know what to do. So when he did get detained, and I'm thinking he's down there fighting, they're going to do exactly what the movies, said or whatever. So I didn't know what to expect.
What year did he go down? The first time.
This was 2017 when he went to Tucker.
Yeah.
He's just really, literally been in and out since 13. So
So how was it for
How
you,
old is he now?
laying down,
he
knowing
is
the
23
bold
now.
about the movies you done watched?
I would question him when I would talk to him. I would question him and ask him, about different things that was going on down there. And he would just let me know, Mama, it ain't always like the movies. And that was good to hear because the rape part, the stabbings, the fight, I thought about all of that in the back of my mind. But when I questioned my child and he told me it wasn't like that, and I mean, that's even with the people that go down there that's gay. He said, if Mama, if you are not gay, if you come down there like that, you was always like that from the start. Point blank. He told me that. And I believe him. He said, you don't come through the door and just make a conscious decision that you're going to turn this way.
I remember the time back in the early 2000s, they made it whereas cause I guess by society they saying the AIDS was rising.
It was rapid.
And they saying that it was dudes getting out of prison, bringing it to the free world. So they had it set up. What the protocol was, you had to take an AIDS test before you go home. Only 2 people, all the years, so it was just a waste of money. Cause all the years that they was had that in place, only 2 people went home with AIDS, but they came there with it. So
Like
Yeah.
COVID.
Yep. Yep. But being that y'all was mothers and tried y'all best to do what you do as a parent and the best you possibly could, when your child went down the road and even in prison, did y'all ever question y'all parenthood? Did y'all ever think y'all failed?
All the time.
I did. I used to beat myself up about it. I used to always ask, where did I go wrong? What did I do, to make him make the decisions that he made? But it had nothing to do with me.
Nothing at all.
It had nothing to do with me. Those were just poor choices at a young age, being a child. Because when you're 17, you are still a child. And the maturity level wasn't there. So I couldn't, fault him. And I couldn't fault myself.
I know I always try to ask my children, how can I become a better mother? And I asked my daughter, did I hug you guys enough? Because, I had 3 at the time. And so she said, you gave him all the hugs. Because I was always taught if you have a stray sheep, then you kind of labor with that sheep. And so I didn't think that she needed me because she was excelling in school and in the newspaper all the time and basketball and scholarships. And then my son, my middle son, he was real cool and calm and collective. He was nonchalant. My baby boy, I felt like he needed me the most, so I would lean towards him. And then, I apologized to them in areas that I felt like, I failed or whatever. And she was like, Mama, you did the best you could, but it still didn't lighten that blow for me to hear her say, you gave him all the hugs. Because I just didn't feel like they needed me. I felt like he needed me more. But
Did you feel, even though your child was as old as she went down and you was at age, did you feel in some type of form? She made her own.
She was an adult. She made her own
that's that
decision.
wisdom.
But me being a single parent, I did have that in the back of my mind. She was a single parent also. But I always worked. I worked and worked. I didn't hustle too hard. But anyway, she made her decision. And come to think about it, my youngest son went to juvenile. So I'm relating to what you both are saying and the impact that it have on you. But I think back then I was younger and I was able to handle it better.
Yeah.
But when you get old, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's my mom that just got through speaking, and she is talking about me. At
I
45
tried not to
years
call
old,
her
I
name.
made some bad choices, and I'm not saying that's my first bad choice. I was partially told the truth and partially lied on, did get lied on, and sent to prison, not only with the person that lied on me. It was very hard to make it through there. I would call my mom, blow the phone up. They didn't want to give me good health or nothing like that, but Mom, I just want you to know that It is not your fault. I chose to make those mistakes. Me, my brother, you know, we chose to do what we did, and we went. No, it wasn't easy because I was a single parent. I left my kids behind, left a 14-year-old, 22-year-old. I'm all they ever had, never had been absent from their life. It's hard on us too. Not only the parents, it's hard on us in there. But I just wanted my mom to know that it wasn't on her that I went. She always worked hard, you know. I've always worked from the age of 14, but can't nobody tell you what you want and will and won't do in life to survive, you know, especially being a mother with no father to help you for your kids. You got to do it on your own, so can't nobody tell you what you will and won't do. Now, at 45 years old, it was really hard going inside a prison where I don't even deal with women like that. So a whole place, I was getting punished right then and there. But I just want you mothers to know that, you know, it's also hard on us going in there. I was older when I went, so that was really hard, and a parent leaving mine behind to basically fend for themselves, and my mom on there with them. But when you're young, old, or whatever, it's not the thing that y'all see that on TV what happens in prison. I went to federal prison, but it's all the same. A lockup is a lockup. Yeah. The food is horrible. The health care is bad. They don't care nothing about us in there. We just I call it modern day slavery. Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, it ain't nothing y'all did wrong. We chose to make the decisions. We did it. We made our bed. We have to put our big girl panties or boxers on, the drawers, whatever they decide to wear, and go on and wear them and go on up in there and do what you got to do so you can have an exit date, you know. Exactly. So I was blessed to have an exit date. I got out. A lady stole from me in the halfway house, and I went back to jail. Just imagine, I had never went to the county jail. I turned myself in because I had never been in, you know.
What she steal from you?
Probably
some food.
It's a lady I took care of. So I slept side by side.
I'm just saying, you heard she said she was side by side with him. So, I mean, she stole something.
And fed this woman every day.
That's what I'm saying, like, even with me after that, y'all don't know how much the biggest war pop off over the pettiest thing. She said this lady
but
slept right next to her. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm asking her. That's what I'm asking her. She probably stole a pot of cake, 2 cakes.
After the show.
There wasn't no cakes. We just ain't gonna go into that. I'm trying to put, that was very hard for me. I spent 90 days in the county jail, never saw a judge, never got a hearing, never got nothing.
No doctor care.
No nothing. Not even a piece of paper saying you're charged with this.
Right
and
up
this
there
is
on
what
Roosevelt.
So they kept me 90 days in there, refused to give me health care. My mama had to come up there. I almost died in there, you know. So I have a lung disease called sarcoidosis. I'm blessed to be here to be able to say anything to y'all, because even in the federal prison, I was at the only medical facility in the whole United States, and I got poor medical care. They forgot about me in there.
About 2 months you were in there, right? And hadn't seen a doctor.
Hadn't seen a doctor. Supposed to see them within 14 days. Every time you ask, they act like you done something wrong when they get money for you. But at the end of the day, I just want y'all to know that, you know, just as hard as it is for y'all, it's even more so harder for us. I had to tell my mama, y'all don't come see me no more. I Skype the rest of my time. I allowed them to come see me 2 times only. And then the rest of the time, I used a computer, and I saw my people for almost 2 years. Because it was very hard watching them leave. That's the hardest thing, watching y'all leave. So it was better to just do it like that. I felt good getting up from that computer going on, and it was better for them too. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this, Ms. Lynn. Okay, forgiveness. How are you on forgiveness? With the person that got you there or in a situation?
Let me tell you something. That was my trial and test and all of that, and I got a testimony for y'all. She did not apologize to me. When I first got to the federal prison, I not only got locked up with one that told the truth, I got locked up with the one that told the lie on me. Flat out lie. I couldn't have got convicted, but I've done some things in my past, so I had to deal with my time saying, okay, your karma has hit you, okay? But when I did the time with her, when I first got in there, my mentality was still a little street. So when I went into the cafeteria, she came up to me and spoke to me. And I said, who is you? Because she looked so awful in there. You know, we looked.
That was her karma.
She was like, spoke to me, and I asked her who was she, and she told me her name. And I said, don't you know you lied on me? And I woo, woo, woo. And the girl's in there from Chicago, she grabbed me, she said, don't do that. You're going to be in the hole. You're gonna be, we call it the shoe. She was like, you're going to be in the shoe, and as much as you like to eat, girl, you ain't be able to eat nothing. So I quit then and had to friend the girl. And I still was angry. And when I got to the halfway house, they put her in the bed beside me in the same room. We was not supposed to be there together, nor so sleeping beside each other. But she came in the bathroom. Guilt ate her up so bad. She came in the bathroom one morning. I was getting ready for work and told me she was sorry. And I told her, I accept your apology a long time ago. I said, but you didn't have a little girl to leave behind. Your two daughters was grown. My daughter was number 14 years old with her daddy in prison too. I said, so just imagine, my daughter went wild for a minute without nobody.
Yeah.
I said, so you know your girls was
Okay,
grown.
so forgiving yourself. How did you? Are you still struggling with
I'm
that?
still struggling with
Yeah.
that, you know.
Because to me, it's easy to forgive that offender, but it's like it's forgiving yourself. Like, I shouldn't have took this. I shouldn't have did this. I don't think it's hard to forgive anybody. I think it's like
More
the
so
residue
yourself.
of
It beat
yourself,
you
the
up.
unforgiveness of yourself.
Especially when you got a child. Like my daughter, she been wrestling with the streets and home, okay? And I feel like partially it's my fault because she went astray when I went away. So me wrestling with my daughter, I can't even control my household half the time.
I don't think she even know where to
And I
put
feel
those.
guilty.
I don't think she knew where to put those feelings. I really don't think
I
she
feel
knew where
really
to place
guilty
them.
because I left her, you know,
Yeah.
and she was young,
Yeah.
you know, and it was hard on her too. So that's the guilt that eat me up every day, all the time. I cry like a baby, and I'm a strong woman, but that's the only thing that
But
breaks me
strong
down.
don't mean that you don't cry.
Oh, girl, I
Yeah.
cried like a baby. Did you?
To
hear
me, I feel like they're
Just
kind of
last
healing. You know, it's healing waters. That's what I call them. Because I do it a lot.
It's
I do it a lot.
It's harsh.
It's healing waters.
It's harsh. Ain't nothing harder than leaving your kids behind and the people that you love.
Yeah.
So
Right.
even though it's hard on y'all out here, we don't have to struggle with paying the light bill, paying the bills. When I came home, having to pay the bills again was very hard.
Yeah.
So we might not like what they give us in there, but we gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know, especially with prayer. You know, I was all right.
Support.
Well, check this out, y'all. Y'all feel free to answer this. You can answer it too, but at the same time, we see the fruition. You know what I'm saying? We see it unfolding with your daughter. But you know, the question is, have your sons discuss their future plans with you? Just wondering how you being proactive. You know, just wondering how we being proactive. Have your kids discussed what they doing?
I don't think he has figured it out yet. I don't think he figured out what he wants to do yet.
Mine has pretty much gave me ideas of what he want to do, and pretty much have stood on some of the things that he wants to do,
And he doing it.
and he's doing it.
He's doing it. You know, we see
and
it
he
FaceTime.
said once he got out, he made a promise to me that he would do that, and he is doing it.
That's good.
And I am very proud of him. Very proud.
I mean, what type of do your son still hang around the same people, the same crowd?
No, I don't think so. And then my brother has a detail shop, and he took him in, and I guess they worked really, really well together. But it's still that can I trust you to do the right thing when I'm not around?
What's the name of the detail shop?
Webb's Auto, Webb's Detailing Auto.
Robert
Come
Webb.
plug yourself real quick.
God.
Yeah. So, but he, you know, my brothers try to step in and do all that they can. My other brother, you know, he had a lawn service, and so he would come get him or whatever. He don't have a lawn service no more. He has an automotive little deal now. But they stepped in. But it's like, you know, if your son doing stuff and taking stuff from you, and it's kind of hard because it's your reputation on the line, and you know you want to make sure your things are straight. Because I told him, I said, if you be a stand-up person and get yourself together and be trustworthy, you just never know what somebody can leave you behind. You know, it could be your business one day or whatever, because I'm sure that's what he was training them to do. But, you know, you don't want to jeopardize you know, because you can, you know, grab them too hard and then you down there or whatever. So,
You know, y'all know we living in a materialistic age, and you know, the reason why I can ask this question because I know I was once this child that was real needy, but I didn't allow me need and want what the next person got to make me go do certain things. But do y'all think that you know, having multiple children and not able to provide how they feel you should be able to
I thought you was
provide
taking
for
a
them?
shot. No, I'm just
I
playing.
know I can't take a shot if I don't understand what's going on in your
I'm just
household.
playing.
I'm just speaking from my, but at the same time I asked a question from my vantage point. But see, you know, do you think that was a problem? Where do you think that it got to the point where you couldn't provide for that person?
No.
I ain't talking about to the best of your ability. You know, coming up, you know, the older a child get, the more they become expensive. The more
Well, I mean,
expensive
look at
they
these
become.
privileged children. You can't put that on your head. It's some things you just can't carry. And look at these rich children. It's still not enough for them. They still want a jet. If you give them a plane, they want a jet. So I just can't carry that one.
Yeah.
I just can't carry that.
I think I pretty much took care of mine like I was supposed to.
Yeah,
So I don't think
can't
it was
carry
anything that they wanted that they didn't get. You know, and if it was things that they wanted that I couldn't get, they would have to be put on hold until I could get it. But I was a very, very responsible parent, so I carried my weight.
Going down to visit your children in prison, did y'all ever have any problems down there?
Oh Lord,
What type of problem? Why you say that? What you were faced with?
oh Lord, the guards,
Yeah.
they try to take you down through there.
Was you ever felt disrespected?
I have. When I first went to Dermont, which I didn't care how far I had to travel, how near or far I had to travel, I was going, despite it all. But when I got to Dermont, for the first visit, you know, you can have on these jeans and they had them slashes in them.
Can't wear that.
And they were made like that, but they had a whole nother lining
Yeah.
up under them where you don't show no skin. They didn't want to let me in, so I had to go to the store and buy me some pants. I said, you know, and I just kept saying, Lord, they are not gonna steal my joy today, honey.
That was your first visit?
That was my first visit. I went to Fred's and bought me some jeans. I said, I will be back. And went right on back up there. I said, you will not stop me from seeing my son.
I think sometimes they forget that they can be in that position.
And they just try to
Oh,
be,
my
but
goodness.
they can be in that position, but when you know, you walk in them gates, they just, I don't know, seem like to me the guards just automatically stereotype you.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
never
know,
had that problem. My
I
problem
did.
was I stayed on the phone from Washington, D.C. to Texas to Oklahoma with people. We talking about senators, whatever, trying to get my child
do
here.
that.
And they were so disrespectful on the phone.
They
And
treat
what
them
can
like
you
they're
do? You on the
and
phone.
there it is.
You know, had I been in their face, I probably would have wound up in the penitentiary.
But see, that
You
those
know.
were the encounters that I had. So in order for it to spoil my day, I would ask God to just give me
Please
strength,
give me strength.
and I would just go on.
And then
And
you
do
just
what
spoke
they
about that you think they forget that they could be in them shoes. No, it ain't that they forget. They don't think that they can be.
think
that
they
is
you're
true.
sure
Because
right
you know a lot
about
of people
that.
walk that straight and narrow that you were just talking about. You know what I'm saying? Being that square with them. So them the people that's working down there. Not saying everybody down there square or definitely
Yeah,
not
but
doing
you know
that.
they don't have any type of compassion.
But you just
know.
never not thinking that
They
bang,
treat them
I
like
can
they're
end up down here.
disposable. You know,
They don't think the tables can turn. Oh, but yes,
They,
they
their
can.
mind don't go there.
just
because
like the
they-
police officers don't think that they can. You
Oh,
know?
but it can.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen, but by the mind go there like, dang, I can end up like this. But then, I mean, I done been locked up with people that done worked there.
Oh.
I mean, it's fun as hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you see sergeants and stuff. You working on whole squad with the sergeants. They on the horses and stuff with the gun. And they think, hey, Daenerys, let me get some cigarettes, man.
Ain't giving you
Dang,
shit.
nigga, dang, man, what you did? Yeah, right now, dang, for the table turn for real. And I mean, but you look out for them because most of them that end up in prison, that work there, they wasn't all state. They wasn't just the, what I'm saying, the whole ass niggas, you know what I'm saying, that worked in there.
Oh,
So
okay.
by the time
Oh,
they
so
do
you-
get locked
okay.
up,
They don't get treated
and they
bad
coming up,
when
shoot
they-
out, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like, it's fun as hell, though.
Now, you got
Like,
some of them women guards, honey. They something else.
It's always the women.
What's up, boy?
This is what I want to ask you ladies. My hat out to my mothers up here, my queens.
Thank you.
When do a mother come to a point where she can relieve herself of her duties of a mother? Not saying not of a mother, but put a little bit more tough love in her child's life when it's
I don't think you can get any
Yeah,
tougher than me.
That's hard. You don't know.
And you
you
don't
don't know when to
stop.
do it.
It's
You don't know when to do
it's
it.
like detrimental to her
Yeah.
and her home.
Yeah. I had to give mine over to God. Literally give him over to God. Because I was depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. And I lost a lot of sleep when I felt like I can rescue him. And nobody can do that but God. So I just said, this is too much for me to carry. I can't carry this. So I just surrendered. And I had to make my daughter do the same thing because she picked up where I left. And I'm like, you putting too much of a strain on yourself. You just never know what is being brought to your home. You have got to surrender to. And she's learning as well.
So when you surrendered, I mean, did it give you a peace or?
It wasn't instant.
You talking about why their child was in there?
No, why they in there or in their sickness or you know what I'm saying, doing whatever they doing? When does it come a point where a mother can just say, okay, I did what I had to do?
I don't think ever. I'm 70 years old,
Yeah, I just,
don't
and I
think-
still.
I don't think ever.
I don't
I
think
mean, I fit my son's lifestyle into my lifestyle. And I had to fit the finances in there. I had to
Everything.
fit the time in there. I mean, I don't think we could ever just, put a timeline on it.
yeah.
So let it go.
You don't
No.
give
A
up
mother
on them. Yeah.
is gonna be a mother
I give
to
up.
the
Yeah, you don't
end.
give up on them.
You're
You
not
just be like,
gonna
I just-
that tough love you talking about.
I still issue it.
It's tough love. I mean, can be in different form, different ways. It's just all in how you deal with your child. I mean, you can have tough love for your child, or you could just shoot that child away and let that child go, and turn your back on them completely.
But a
Some
real- a
people do
real
that
mama
and call
can't do
that
that.
tough love.
No, that's not what tough love is.
But a mother that loves their children, the tough love is going to come from teaching, standing firm to your word. And most of all, they have to listen.
Yeah, that's it.
Listen.
That's it.
If you stop and listen, you might learn something.
Speak, sister. Thank you, ladies, very much.
Well, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Well, we're back after this short commercial break. Remember, if you want to get on the show and want to speak about anything, hit us up at 501-551-8489. And remember to like and share. Well, I'm going to give these ladies the opportunity. Right now, if you got any mother that's going through anything similar to what you went through, right now I want you to look in that camera and tell them anything, even the children. But right now, speak to any parent that is going down the road, that highway that you the ones did. But speak to them right now and tell them, what I'm saying, encourage, give them some type of encouragement or.
My encouragement to parents who have loved ones that's going to prison, maybe going, haven't went, about to go that way, however you want to put it. Support. Support is the key to pulling your loved ones through. I've been there. I done it. That support, even if you could take them grandbabies, them nieces, them nephews down there so they can know they loved ones before they get out, that's important. Just stay mindful, prayed up. God gonna give you the strength to pull through no matter what. Just go. Letters, cards, I've spoken on this before, visitation, money, feeding them, phone calls. All of this is the support system. And if you have a support system, they'll pull through. It'll give them something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I did it. And they can too. Next.
Oh, wow. I think you pretty much said it
Yeah, I
all.
pretty summed it up.
I'm not a Bible toter or anything like that, but you have to put it in God's hands.
Yes.
That's everything in and out of our lives. Then you just have to put Him in charge. And like you said, that support.
Support.
My child didn't want us to come down there every time the door opened. She did not want that. And that hurt too, because you want to see them. But she, like she said, they would do the video thing. How often was that? Like once a week or something? Yeah, once a week. But that still wasn't like going there and just actually seeing them.
Yes.
So like you said, support and putting it in God's hands.
I guess what I can say is don't stop praying for your child, and then learn how to forgive yourself for where you felt like you made a mistake. Yeah. And ask them to forgive you for where they feel, because you may be the reason why they're down there. They feel like, I don't know, maybe a man in the house, or, and thank God that wasn't the case for me, but you just never know what kind of gears people to do what they do. So just kind of dig in that person's heart and brain and see what it is that they're needing, kind of be the Ayanla fix your life for your child, and try to figure out what's going on with them, because they may not even know the emotions that they're dealing with, or even how to pack those feelings away. So just, keep them in prayer, because sometimes I literally wake up out of my sleep and just call my children's name out in prayer, because you just never know. Sometimes your child may go, be out at the club or whatever your child, to do or whatever. I just want to make sure mine are covered. So just never stop praying for your children, and forgive yourself, and, make sure you're listening to them and what they're feeling. And if they say that you're the blame, you take ownership and accept the blame for that, so y'all can grow. And always make sure that they have a safety net to fall back on. And just don't, when they turn 18, just don't shoo them away like, you grown, go and do what you. My children still need me. I mean, and I most definitely still need my kids. Exactly. I don't care if they're 30 years old, I still need them.
Exactly.
So that's the. Well, this concludes another segment of Prison Chronicles, and I'd like to thank these lovely ladies for being brave enough to come on the show. And if you want to be on the show and speak about it, make sure you hit us up at 501-551-8489. And before we end this, I want to let these ladies know, and these ladies just watching, if you ever feel that you failed as a parent because your child went to prison, speaking from my point of view, you didn't fail. We still had our own choices to make, just like y'all had your own choices to make. We had our own lives to live. We had our own consequences to deal with due to our actions. So, let that be duly noted. And at the same time, anybody been on the show, that you want to be on the show, hit us up at 501-551-8489. Make sure you like and subscribe and share, because there's no us without you, and it's never too late.
Can I say something? Okay, I went to school with you, man. You went to school together. Yeah. And I did not see this in your past, but to see the person that you are today, man. And I know I tell you all the time I'm proud of you, but man, I'm really, really proud of you.
Appreciate you.
Because you're humble. If you were a cocky guy, I wouldn't utter those words, because I'm like, he need a little humbling a little bit. But you are a very, very humble guy, and I'm really proud of what you're doing. Really, really proud of what you're doing.
And there's no us without you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to do this, especially without my wonderful team. Shout out to Miss Valencia Cross and JD Slim on the cameras. Wonderful team. I wouldn't do nothing without them.